Hey, Ariel here. I just returned from a trip up to Portland to visit my natural medicine practitioner who practices specifically Chinese medicine and Chinese herbalism. And he is the name of his clinic is called the Healing Order, and it's just in around the Portland area. It's near the Columbia River Gorge. His name is Dr. Heiner Fruhoff. He's actually German. He's of German descent, and he cured his cancer, testicular cancer, as a young man in his early 20s. He's now probably in his 60s. He used that opportunity of his diagnosis to dive all the way into Chinese philosophy, Chinese literature, ancient Chinese literature, studied in China, studied under medicine people in China who are passing down this lineage of Chinese medicine and herbalism, which are medicines and plants and mostly plants. Some of Chinese medicine is also animal matter, but a very small amount. But medicine that has been passed down for thousands of years. And so, really, an ancient form practice of medicine. And I just wanted to create this video to give you a little synopsis, just super brief. I'm not an expert in Chinese medicine, but as I've been working with different natural medicine practitioners, and then in particular with a Chinese medicine practitioner now for almost 2 years, I am kind of coming back to this foundational understanding of a big difference between Western medicine and non-Western medicine, more holistic or natural healing medicine. So I just wanted to share that with you in this video. So I'm going to try to make this as short and brief as possible. So as I mentioned, Dr. Fruhoff has been studying and contributing to this medicine now for his entire life, probably at least 30 or 40 years, I guess. And he'll be the first to tell you that this medicine practice isn't purely about the medicine and about prescribing certain medicines. It's also about a philosophy and a way of thinking and a lifestyle. And I know that to be true in my own life, that the greatest change in general in anything comes about when we adopt a new way of thinking about that change. So, as many of you probably know or understand if you follow me and are somewhat involved in the same world I am, we know that Western medicine is very good for a lot of things. It's really good at symptom management. We're for the most part really very good at hygiene and cleanliness. Surgery. We're very good at finding a problem and going after that problem from the outside in. When you have an emergent thing happening, kind of a specific surgery, specialists who are studying different rare diseases, and you need really new and innovative equipment. Western medicine, modern medicine can be so good for so many of those things. And when we think about holistic medicine or natural medicine, people will say, yeah, I know natural medicine addresses the root causes of a disease or a problem, an issue with the health, versus Western medicine is masking the symptoms or just treating the symptoms, not really treating the root cause. And I think that's true in a lot of cases, but to take that a little bit deeper, I think the foundational approach, the way that we view the body and health from a Western medicine perspective versus a more natural or holistic perspective, that very lens that we're looking through is completely different, in that the belief about the body and the belief about the body's natural and innate capability for healing is different. So let me give you an example. In Western medicine, we oftentimes look for a doctor, an answer, a person outside of us to tell us what's wrong with us and to tell us what we need in order to get better. The responsibility is taken away or given away, and given to a third party outside of ourselves to tell us what we need to do to heal. And depending on what they say and what they do, we adopt that as belief. So, for example, a doctor might say, hey, you have this cancer diagnosis. This is typically how long people live. This is the 5-year lifespan. And this is the typical treatment that we do, and this is the success rate. Okay, now that you've heard that, you'll adopt that as truth. You adopt that as that's what data says. I'm part of the data. And you believe that, right? We believe that, not just on an intellectual level, but in our bodies. We start to think, oh, this is all I have. This is it, because this is the best we got. Natural medicine, or more holistic approach, and obviously this is totally generalized, right? Every practitioner is different. Every Western medicine doctor is different. Every natural health practitioner is different. This is totally blanket statement. A more holistic approach, and particularly the one that I'm taking, recognizes that the body wants to heal itself. It wants to be healthy and whole. And if it's having an issue like an overgrowth that became a tumor, that became cancer, it's because there's some mishap in the body, that the body's it's gotten overcrowded, it's gotten over stagnant, it's had either an excess or a deficiency, so much so that it's created this overgrowth, this tumor that it can no longer deal with. And that by reminding the body and giving the body the resources that it needs in order to lift up the immune system, lift up the body's natural capability for healing, it can actually address its own diseases and issues on its own. And that belief about the body is different, because in order for that to be true, one has to know and believe that only I know best what's best for my body, because I am the only one who lives in my body. And that I believe that my body wants to heal and is capable of healing. And regardless of what anyone tells me about my body or the data relating to my diagnosis, I know my body wants to heal, because I am the only one living in my body. And you see, that's taking your power back when you choose to not only speak those words, but adopt that belief system about your own self, that my body wants to heal. And that anyone, any doctor, any therapist, any outside person who's giving me help, who's giving me medicine, who's giving me treatment plans, they're part of my care team. I'm choosing or not choosing them, depending on if their message, if their medicine, if their philosophy and their approach resonates with me or not. At the end of the day, I'm the one choosing what my treatment is. I'm choosing what's going into my body. I'm choosing what medicine I take. I'm choosing what food I eat. and therefore my healing is 100% my responsibility, even if I'm taking someone else's medicine, even if I'm choosing to do chemo, even if I'm choosing to do surgery. You see, it's a different way of thinking about your healing. Even if you're doing a non, Western, or I'm sorry, a non-holistic approach, even if you're doing all of the chemo, all of the surgery, it's a completely different way of thinking. Thinking about the body. And so the primary thing I've been working on with my Chinese medicine doctor, with Dr. Fruhoff, is supporting my body's natural capability for healing by giving it the nutrients and the resources and the mental state and the amount of sleep and all of the things, the amount of movement and listening closely, the amount of attention and care that it needs in order to cure itself and to be cured. And that has to come from the belief that your body is capable of healing, and that belief has to come from within. That's all for now. Thanks for listening.